right. How's everybody doing today? Monday, December 22nd, 2025. Man, the year's going by quick, super fast. So, welcome to the live stream, another giveaway live stream. We're doing giveaways every day this week. So, Christmas, treat yourself, treat a loved one. We're doing Amazon gift cards. Going fairly well. Now, I do have an update. The got some Pixel news and Samsung news. We have the Google Pixel December, the 2nd December update, which I think it came late last week. Google now, we know we do have the changelog now, and Google did post the links to the firmware on their developer's website, so you can flash it if you want to. But we do have a changelog. We do have a massive sale on the Pixel 10 series that we'll get into. Oh, that reminds me, if anybody's interested for being a Google Pixel superfan, they sent me a bunch of discounts, right? They sent me an email. I think I can get like 40% off of any Pixel, whether it's the base Pixel 10, the Pixel 10 Pro series, or I think the Fold. I think I got 40% off. I already bought one. What was it, on Saturday, Sunday, something like that, a day or two ago. If you're interested, and anybody watching is interested in purchasing a Pixel, email me, eSIMstudios@gmail.com, and I can just copy and paste you the promo code, and you can get, boom, 40% off just like that. So it takes what is the Pixel 10 at? I think it starts at $799. So what would that be? Let's see. Where's my calculator? 40. So it's what? Basically $800. So it takes $320 off. So 800 minus 320, $480. Now, Amazon, the Pixel 10 series listed on Amazon is essentially $400 and something dollars. Actually, I guess we could check that out right now. But if you want a promo code, holler at me, email me, and I'll just send you whatever I got. I think it's only valid for one use. So if you're interested in purchasing it from the Google Store website, let me know. Or I think you can get on Amazon. I'm going to link those down below once this is done. So if you're watching this on repeat, I'll have links for the Pixels on Amazon. Let's see real quick. Pixel 10 Amazon. Let's see how much they're going for. I think they are. Okay, so let me share my screen here. So the Pixel 10 series, let's see. So you can get one for $549. Is that this one's $599? What's the difference? Does one have a larger storage variant, or no, they're both 128? I don't know. Maybe the blue one's a little cheaper. That's the one I got. Let's see. So actually, with my discount, now Amazon will deliver it to you the very next day, but if you want to buy directly from Google, my discount code will get you that same Pixel, that blue one, for $480. That's the same one I got. I got the blue one, but mine's 256 gig. I can't do 128 anymore. Just can't. But anyways, I'll link everything down below. So if you're watching this, you don't have to go search in the web. I'll post everything down below. And let's see, you can get a Pixel 10 Pro 120. Damn, they started theirs at 128. Oh yeah, it's the bigger ones, the XL, that starts at 256. Geez, we need to get away from these 128 gigs. Those go so fast. Let's see here. So we got that, and we'll go into the changelog briefly if we have time. You see what they've changed. And then Samsung Galaxy S25 series. If you're running the beta software, One UI 8.5 beta, the second version was just released this morning, and I literally just downloaded it on my phone. I'm actually using my S25 as a webcam, so I haven't had time to play around with it. Literally just restarted it right before this live stream. And look, the beta, the One UI 8.5 beta program, you really can't tell that much of a difference. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I've been using mine since I think I've been on the beta program 8.5 for maybe a couple weeks. Didn't it come out at the beginning of December? So maybe 3 weeks. I can't tell the difference. I mean, there's a couple extra options. You can resize your quick settings, right? Your little widgets up there. And there's a couple added things here and there, but basically it looks the same. Now, they did upgrade. Actually, let's get into it. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me put the comments up there. Now for the giveaway, I think I'll just do it where you just comment. I won't really do a hashtag. Now, I was saying hello to somebody in the chat before this stream started, and I thought, damn it, I guess that entered me into the drawing. But if I win, I'll just do another one. But yeah, so it is what it is. But how could I forget? Pixel 10 GPU drivers, the updates. I benchmarked my Pixel 10. Well, check this out. I actually used my wife's Pixel 10 Pro. My Pixel 10 Pro is on the stock firmware. Hers is on beta. So I said, I need to borrow your Pixel real quick. So I have screenshots for the performance of this new Pixel 10 Pro with the new GPU drivers. This is the one we were all waiting for. And we now have the benchmark numbers. And did it improve any? Did it get any closer to the S25 series, S25 Ultra? And for shits and giggles, I benchmarked the OnePlus 15. You're going to laugh at how big of a difference there is between the OnePlus 15 and the Pixel 10 Pro. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm not shitting on Google. I know it may seem like that, but I just mentioned I'm part of the Pixel Superfans group. I guess officially, well, I guess unofficially now, hashtag Team Pixel, since they did away with hashtag Team Pixel. I still consider myself hashtag Team Pixel, right? I'm a big supporter of Google and the Pixel devices. They're one of the best Android phones, or phones period, you can buy. So just because it doesn't get close to performance-wise, like on benchmarks as it to the OnePlus 15, because there is a mountain of difference. It's laughable how much difference there is. It may seem like I'm shitting on them. I'm not, right? Do these benchmark numbers affect how you use your phone on a daily basis? No, right? I mean, it is what, and I've gotten so used to shooting content on the Pixel and then transferring it to the Samsung, or I guess now transferring it to the OnePlus 15, that it's really not that big of a deal, right? Like, yes, and look, you can edit videos on a Pixel, you can game, but is it as good as a OnePlus 15? No, and that's a fact, and that's okay, right? Like, I'm okay with that. Pixel is meant to be your all-round. I like to compare phones to cars. I know how weird or corny that sounds, but it's basically a good comparison because you have different classes of cars, right? Different types of people buy certain kinds of cars, right? So I look at the OnePlus 15 like as a Ferrari, right? Like a Ferrari. I think of the S25 Ultra as like Escalade or a truck. It's a workhorse. Your S25 Ultra, it's a nice workhorse. Maybe it's a Cadillac Escalade truck. Remember, do they still make Escalade trucks? I don't think they do. Do y'all remember those? Oh, I used to be in love with those things. I wanted one so bad. Never had one. But it's like an Escalade truck, right? It's an all-rounder. It's your workhorse, but it's very nice and sleek. Now, look at the Pixel. The Pixel device, y'all might want to help me out, but as far as a Pixel, you compare it to a car, maybe it's a Cadillac, like a sedan, right? Or trying to compare. I really haven't. Maybe a Lexus, right? Yeah, Lexus is probably a good one, where it's not the fastest car out there, right? But it sure is the smoothest, right? It's dependable. Lexus is probably a good comparison. It just works, right? Now, if you want to go fast, you can jump in your Ferrari or your OnePlus 15. You need a workhorse. You're going to be using it all day. You jump in your Cadillac Escalade truck. But if you're going to dinner night in a movie with your wife or a date, take the Lexus, the Pixel. It's probably a good comparison. But nothing wrong with that. I'm just simply showing the GPU drivers and what what performance gains they have got, right? So totally get where you're coming from in regards to the gap between Pixels and OnePlus brand. Yes, and it depends on the buyer, right? Again, like cars, there's something for everyone, right? So if you just want flat out speed, a badass, just something, the OnePlus is the way to go, right? If you're talking about top line performance, right? If you want to go fast, if you're in love with speed, get you a Ferrari, get you a brand new Corvette, get you a OnePlus 15. If you're a workhorse, you work online, right? Like I do. You're always on the go. You can run a business from your phone, or you do a little bit of everything, right? A little gaming, a little content, little video editing here, picture editing here and there. Samsung's you can't beat that, right? With the Samsung. Or if you just want something nice and smooth, dependable, you get your updates every month, and you just want to kind of cruise, that Lexus, that Pixel is for you. So I don't know. Oh, and here's the thing too with cars, right? This is my last comparison and we'll move on. But it's like I always get called out for doing benchmarks, right? So whenever I do a benchmark video, somebody always says, "Oh, benchmarks don't matter. It's so overblown, this and that." Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I'm just putting out the content, right? Like and again, think of it as cars, right? So the benchmark numbers don't mean everything. But do they mean something? Yes. Now, talking about a Ferrari 0 to 60, or you do the quarter mile, right? That's the benchmark for speed, right? Quarter mile in 0 to 60. Well, with the Pixel, we know it's not the fastest thing out there, right? And with the Ferrari, if you go 0 to 60 and let's just say 3 seconds flat, or you run like a 12 or 11 second quarter mile, like you're not going to be driving 0. You're not going to smash your foot on the gas at every red light. Whenever it turns green, you're not going to be going 0 to 60 every single time you put your foot on the pedal. Well, it's just like the benchmarks. We're not going to be trying to go as fast as possible every time we use the phone. No, but it is a number, it is a standard that's measured, a benchmark, right? And it just tells people what it's capable of, not necessarily how it drives on a day-to-day basis, or not necessarily, how it behaves when you're using certain apps. Pixel can handle almost every single app, right? And smooth, very smooth. And actually this December update, I probably won't get into it today, but they did tweak the kernel and it does feel snappy. It does feel very fast, very snappy, just doing normal day-to-day tasks. I should have saved the article. I read an article maybe this weekend, where it went into specifics on how the Google developers tweaked the kernel. And if you're saying, damn, my Pixel actually feels a little snappier after this December update, it is snappier. They actually tweak stuff to make it a little more snappier flying through the operating system. So again, I'm not shitting on Google. I'm not shitting on Pixel. I'll always have a Pixel until the day I die. Well, unless there's some unforeseen stuff that goes on, but I'm always going to buy a Pixel every year. It's just they make a very, very dependable phone. A Camry. Yeah, could be, right? I mean, Camry's a Toyota, a Lexus is Toyota, so very dependable. Not the fastest, but very dependable. Waiting on the S27 Ultra to drop before I upgrade, but would you like to have a Pixel 10 to put Graphene OS on it? Yeah. And you know, with the Graphene OS, once you install it, it's like, okay, where do I go from here? Because it's not really, it's kind of up to you, the user, to kind of figure out how to use it. Maybe I need to do a video series or something on how to use them, because when you flash it, if it's just the operating system, you don't really know how to go through the settings. You don't really know how to set up all the security and stuff like that, or put apps in a certain sandbox. Or if you still want to download some Google apps, which you want to have different profiles to use them, it's kind of confusing. And I might look into doing that after the new year. Buy an old Pixel, maybe a 6 or something, and just throw graphene on it and do like a video series on how to use it, because you know, it does not come with instruction. I mean, installing it does, but using it does not. Let's see. Hello. It really is brilliant. It just gets the work done. It does. It sure does. I'm wanting the Samsung Trifold, but I'm having a hard time convincing myself. I have a Fold 7. Yeah, you know, that's interesting. I have had zero interest in getting the Trifold. I don't even know where you can buy one. I don't even know if it's available for US users. To be honest with you, I haven't even watched a review of it. Now, it's sort of like a tablet, right? It's just a tablet you can fold. So if you've had a Samsung tablet like the S10 Plus, the S9 Tab, I've had a number of tablets, and I'm sure it's basically just like the same thing. Now, obviously, you can fold it closed and just use it as a normal phone, but the thing with me is that when you fold it out like a tablet, the one specification that stuck out to me is it only has a 5,000 milliamp per hour battery, right? And I think your battery will go pretty freaking quick, especially if you use it when it's folded out like a tablet, because those Samsung Galaxy tablets, they have like a 10,000 milliamp per hour battery. They can last for a few days, right? Depending on usage. I just don't know how the battery life's going to hold up. And here's the other thing. You're going to have to get insurance. It looks nice, right? But when you step into the foldable game, you have to have insurance. And just a little quick story. I have a cat here on, what was it, my Flip. I think it was a Flip 5. It was a couple years ago. It was laying out on my desk, open. And I can't remember. One of the nails on the cats, you know how they're super sharp? It's stuck into the display. And I was like, what the? It jacked up the display just because a cat walked over it. You know, their nail stuck in there. I remember they were walking by and the nail stuck in it. Or they were doing something and it got stuck on their nail, and it was trying to get its hand loose from the phone. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I had to go get a repair done. I had one of these jailbreak iFix or whatever. I have insurance for it, but just little stuff like that. And then I had the Flip 4. It fell on my hardwood floor in my kitchen. It fell from in the living room. It fell from like a little 2-foot table, literally a little side table. Fell, hit the hardwood floor, and busted the screen. I'm like, these things are so fragile. That's buyer beware, right? USA will get it next year. Interesting. Well, yeah, I don't. Everybody's different, but I just don't have any urge to get one. Yes, the insurance part is what gets me too, because they say it is not offered, and if that's true, it's 100% deal breaker. I'm not using a foldable without insurance. I'll say that right off the bat, because again, even if you don't drop it, the display is not glass. The display is plastic. So a cat, or if you have dogs, or if you have a child, very easily that AMOLED display under there can just break, or you'll get a dead spot, right? Or you'll get a green line if something happens. Just little stuff like that. It's like, especially if you got kids and pets. Oh, you're gonna have to get insurance. Let's do a giveaway right now, and then here in a few minutes I'll do another one. How about that, right? So everybody that has already entered in the chat, or if you're watching and you have not entered into the chat, just simply write in the chat, hello, good afternoon. You could even just put a period, just one dot and enter. As long as you've been entered something into the chat, you can win, right? Let's go ahead and do that now. I'll get through. We'll go through real quick. I want to hit these benchmark numbers, right, from Pixel. But let's do a giveaway real quick. Let's see. I can leave it blank, right? Leave blank if. Let me share the screen here. All right, y'all ready? I'm going to give you all about 15 seconds if you're watching this. I listen to YouTube while I drive, so I'm going to give you 15 seconds, 20 seconds or so, if you're not by your phone or wherever you're at, to just enter something in the chat. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. All right, let's do a giveaway. Then we'll get into these benchmark numbers. Y'all ready? Okay. And everybody, I think I sent the... Yeah, I think everybody got their gift cards from this weekend, right? I'm pretty sure they did. All right, let's go. And let me get the screenshots available. Sam Baga-Solomon, 6894. Congratulations to you. Email me, eSIMstudios@gmail.com. When you email me, I'll get your profile pop up and I'll send that to you right away this afternoon. So congratulations. We'll do one more here in just a few minutes. Let me write this. Well, I'll have it on the stream. I'll know who you are. Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't even have a pen with me. It's all good. I got it. Okay. So check these numbers out. So we're going to get into the Google Pixel GPU drivers update. Did it affect and or increase the GPU benchmarks on the Pixel 10 Pro series? Let's find out. So let's get into the numbers before. This is before the update, right? So here's the Google Pixel 10 Pro GPU benchmark. This is just after the release of the device a few months ago, right? So the OpenCL GPU benchmark on the Pixel 10 Pro is 3235, and the GPU benchmark of the Vulkan score was 3704. So that was Vulkan, 3704 Vulkan, and 3235 for the OpenCL. This is using Geekbench 6, right? So let's get into the OpenCL GPU benchmark after the driver update, the GPU driver update. Now, this is only available in the beta series. So if you're running on stable firmware, don't rush to install the beta software, because the latest beta software on the Google Pixel series, guess what? Banking apps don't work. So, well, at least ours doesn't. So don't rush to install this. Google released it on the beta, the GPU driver update, and they're going to package it into the January update for the stable build, right? So if you're on stable build, Hang tight. The driver update is coming next month, which is not that far away. Well, a couple weeks, right? So let's get into the OpenCL GPU benchmark score after the update. You get 4,010 points. So it roughly went up, what, 800, basically 800. Whoops, that's not the right one. So that's OpenCL before the GPU driver update, and that's OpenCL after the GPU driver update. So roughly, I don't know, 800 points, something like that, right? My phone's going crazy. Let me turn the notifications off. Okay. Now, let's look at the Vulkan. So that's OpenCL. Let's look at the Vulkan GPU driver update scores. 4,000. So this one's 410, this one's 4,000, right? And that's coming up from 3235 and 3700. So did it increase these scores? So there you have an overview of the GPU. Yes. Was it drastic? No, but I guess any little bit helps, right? Now I want to show you do I have these scores from the, you know what, hang on, I need to upload. I re-benchmarked the phone with CPU. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I don't, but I did a video last week on the CPU benchmark. It's about the same, right? And this one was focused on a GPU driver update. So did it increase? Yes. Was it drastic? No, but at least they're working on it, right? It could be one thing where it could be like Motorola, where they just never update their phones, or they just sell you a phone and you're basically stuck with it, with that phone, that software. I think they do quarterly updates, so one update every 4 months. I think that's what Google requires these manufacturers when they sign a deal with Google to run Android on a phone. I think the bare minimum is one update every, was it every three months or 4 months? I think it's every 3 months if it's every quarter. So does Motorola update them? They have to legally, but are they on top of it? No. So at least Google is staying on top of this, right? And they can push more updates, and I'm sure they will in the future. Now, will it ever drastically increase? Google developers are working with Immortals, the company Immortals that makes this GPU. I'm sure it'll gradually get better as time goes on. And Google is very, very good. You have 7 years of updates. Google just doesn't forget about you whenever they release a new phone. So if you have like the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 11 comes out, it's not like they just forget about you and kick you to the curb. They have developers in teams, and each team specifically is for each device throughout the life of that device. So there's a team of developers that are specifically, that all they do is work on Pixel 10 stuff. Even when the new Pixel 11 comes out, the Pixel 10 developers stay on the Pixel 10, right? And they do this stuff behind the scenes, update drivers, update this, update that, kernels, blah, 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 blah. So they're working on it, right? So, I mean, nothing to brag about, but they're working on it, right? Let me show you what the OnePlus 15 does. I benchmarked it. After I saw this, I was like, wow. I mean, again, is it updated? Yes. Is it faster? Yes. But I was like, let me do the OnePlus 15. I could guess I need to do a video on it, but look at these scores, right? Check this out. So let's do since we're talking about GPUs, let me show you the GPU scores. So the Pixel basically got 4,000 points, right? Basically on Vulkan and OpenCL. Now here's the OnePlus 15. Can y'all see that? The Vulkan is on, the OpenCL is on the bottom. Let me see if I can make it bigger. The OpenCL is on the bottom and the Vulkan is on top. The OpenCL got a score of 22,000, almost 23,000 28,000 points, while the Pixel had 4,000. And the Vulkan GPU benchmark got 28,000 points, while Pixel got 4,010. So you see the difference there, and it may not be a fair comparison, but look, they're each company's flagship device right now as we speak. So it's one of its competitors blowing them away, but it is what it is. Let's look at the CPU scores. So the CPU scores that I got on my OnePlus 15. Now this is running Oxygen OS 16.0.2 in this model number CPH2745. We got a 3424 for the single core, pretty freaking fast, and then over 10,000 points in the multi-core score. 10,000 points. This thing, fastest Android phone. Actually, I think the multi-core score beats the Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max, but I think the 17 Pro Max beats the OnePlus 15 in single core score, I believe. So pretty freaking fast. Now, let's get into One UI 8.5 beta, and then we'll do our last drawing for the day, right? So if you have a Samsung Galaxy S25 device, and I think, what were the countries? Poland, United States, and India. I believe those are the three countries where you can run One UI 8.5 beta. They just released the second version this morning. I downloaded it, installed it on my phone, and here are the improvements, right? These are the improvements. Now, it may be hard to see, but it's basic stuff like bugs that have been fixed, modified to enable dual recording in single take mode through Camera Assistant, which is nice. They took away dual recording where you can record something in front of you and from your selfie camera at the same time. They took that away in beta 1, added it back into this beta 2. Improvement of errors such as quick panel menu, improvement of issue of photos organized in the gallery, improved stuttering issue and pressing the more view during a call, improved rebooting issue while leaving it intermittently, improved issue that volume up button does not work under certain conditions. It's a bunch of little stuff, so it's not like they added a bunch on this beta 2. They just fixing the bugs right behind the scenes to make sure everything works fine. And I think the release schedule, I think the S26 series, the one that's coming out, they're announcing in January, and that will be released in February. That's coming out with stable One UI 8.5. So these S25 series, oh shit, I'm recording with my S25, duh. We'll basically have, this is the second beta. It's going to have a third beta next month in January, and a fourth beta the third beta in January, fourth beta in February, and then I'm sure it'll get stable build of One UI 8.5 a week or two after the S26 series gets released. So that's the schedule for that. Again, is it cool? Yes, but do you need to rush? That's the thing with beta software. I'm always running it on a lot of my phones, but I like that stuff. If you're just a general user, now I haven't encountered any hardcore bugs or any major issues whatsoever. I used to have a lot of that in the back of the day. Even a few years ago, it's like, damn, do I really want to run beta on here? I don't know. Should I? Because there were tons of bugs back in the day. Now, this one with the Google, this December beta, what is it? QPR3 Beta 1 for Google that's out right now for Pixel phones. Our banking apps don't work. It's stuff like that. So, don't rush to install these things. If you have a second and or third phone, sure, right? Because you can always depend on something else if you need it. But if it's your main driver, think twice before installing it. Every Samsung beta I've ran on my S23 Ultra has been pretty solid. Yeah, I haven't really had any issues with Samsung betas, honestly. Now, it's not like they've had their program open for, years like Google has. You could run beta software dating back to the Nexus devices, right? But mine have been, I don't have any issues that I can tell from my S25 Ultra. I'm using it right now as my video camera. So it's pretty freaking good. Pretty good. So Samsung has usually been really good with software. Everything will just be liquid glass, unfortunately. I know. I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point, but looks like we're heading there. But there's little quirks with these iPhones that I freaking hate. Just little stuff, but yeah, I'm not a fan. Is it better than like iOS 16 or 17 or whatever they were coming from, or was it 18? Maybe, but the functionality of it is still jacked up. To me, it is. From a lifelong Android user, I still don't really enjoy using this. I kind of have to force myself to use this thing. And the cameras aren't even all that. I take my word for it. The OnePlus 15, in my opinion, now I'm going to do that this week. Well, I'm going to try to get it out as soon as I can. I'm going to do a comparison with camera shots, videos, camera between the iPhone 17 Pro and the OnePlus 15. I think these are better. That's just my opinion. But from what I've seen so far, I think they're better. And I'm going to try to do as close of a comparison as possible for you to try and prove that. Google needs to rethink taking away the ability to download third-party apps. Bad move, in my opinion. That's just what makes Android great. It's freedom to do what you want with your device. I completely agree. And I saw something. I need to pull it up. I need to be better at when I see something that I think is important, saving it so I can refer back to it, because I'm not saying that they're going to let up on that, meaning I think they've heard the backlash. I think they've heard the criticism, and they're not necessarily completely backing away from them doing that, but I think they are saying, okay, we need to rethink this. Now, that reminds me, I need to look into that because I don't want to say something that's not true. I'll find that article when this is done and maybe make a video about that, but I know I'm the same way. There's 1, 2, maybe 3 apps, third-party apps that I use on every phone, on every single phone. And it would suck not being able to. Now, I can because I technically have a Google developers account. So I'm classified as a developer with my Google account, so I can install any third-party app I want to on my phones without any questions asked. But for normal users, it's going to be an enormous pain in the ass. But I'll look into that and see. Because I read something last week that they're, again, not necessarily taking a step back, but they're kind of reworking some things to where it still might be available. You just got to jump through a couple hoops, right? So I do too. They really want the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. I do too. I take that back. I've owned a Xiaomi phone. Y'all remember when Xiaomi was running the Android One operating system on it? So it was a Xiaomi phone, but it was running like Pixel firmware. Do y'all remember that? It was like maybe 5 years ago, and the Xiaomi came out with one running stock Android. It was badass. What was the name of that? Xiaomi. What was the name of that? Yeah, I'll just Google Xiaomi Android One. It was like green. Oh, I found it. It was the Xiaomi Mi. Was it the A3? Yes, the A3. It had the teardrop camera. So it looked like this. This thing was badass. Had Pixel software on a Xiaomi phone. I wish Google did that again. Do y'all remember that maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, where these manufacturers, Google would allow them to run stock Android on them? Man, it was awesome. Who did that? It was Xiaomi. They were like the only Chinese company they allowed, I think. It was Xiaomi, it was HTC, it was Motorola. Samsung did the Nexus 1 back in the day. But damn, imagine how badass that would be. Like an S25 Ultra with Pixel software. How smooth and fast, and that would be cool. Yeah, I really wish they did that. I used the test themes for developers way back in the day on Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Side loading is important, man. It sure is. Man, I miss those days. I'm using those phones. Yeah, that was some fun stuff. Yes, you still have your Mi Mix 3. I love the magnetic slider. Man, those are some good days. Yeah, I'm worried that third-party app restriction goes through with the phones. Then it might also follow for Android TV boxes and sticks. Well, if you have a Fire Stick, Amazon's doing away with their Google connection, right? Because they were running a version of Android on these Fire Sticks, and now they're going to like a proprietary software that is you may or may not be able to sideload third-party apps. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna make videos about this. I'm gonna get a Raspberry Pi 6, the brand new one that came out, and I'm gonna install that NVMe SSD on there. I'm gonna install stock Android on it, and make my own Android TV box. Raspberry Pi. It's like a single SBC, a single board computer. They have this brand new one. It's like $200, but it's freaking awesome. You can install Android. It's got all these peripherals on it, all these hookups and everything. I was looking into it this weekend. I think I'm gonna get one and do a video series on it. How to make your own Android TV box. It's very easy, right? It's very, very easy. And you install your own software. So you don't have to worry about a lot of these Chinese boxes. I have a ton of them around the house. I have, that you get from AliExpress. I have 3 Android TV boxes. Some of them are on like Android 9, Android 12, right? And I have burner accounts on them, just in case. But my way that I want to make videos on, you're not going to have to worry about any of that, right? I think I'll go ahead and order it and just make a video series on how to make your own Android box, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That would be nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. What will it take for carriers to allow more phones besides Samsung and Apple in their stores for consumers? That's a loaded question with a lot of different answers. So it's like OnePlus, right? Let's use them for example. So OnePlus, they had the OnePlus 9, OnePlus 10, OnePlus 10T, and I think that was it in T-Mobile. Now, T-Mobile makes deals with OnePlus, with Samsung, with Apple. I think it has more to do with their competition than it does with OnePlus, meaning I think Samsung, I think Apple, possibly Google, strong arm these carriers into not allowing any other cell phone company like a OnePlus into the market. I honestly believe that. Because when OnePlus makes a deal with a T-Mobile, it's a partnership, right? There's money exchanged. And OnePlus has to decide whether they allow T-Mobile in for a cut of those shares or a cut of that profit, meaning I'm sure, I haven't seen the deals, but I'm sure OnePlus has to pay T-Mobile up front, right, to get the deal started. And then there's probably a deal where T-Mobile gets 5% of every phone sold, right, or whatever the profit is. Stuff like that. But I guarantee, knowing how Apple is, I guarantee you, and I'm not just singling out Apple, but probably Samsung, maybe Google, we don't know, but Apple has a history of strong arming, using their position, their dominance in the market to squeeze out their competitors. So I guarantee you Apple has something to do with it. I don't know. I wish they were back in T-Mobile. You know how badass this would be to go into a T-Mobile and just grab one of these? I did that with the 10. I did that with the 10T. There's a T-Mobile right down the street. Going to the T-Mobile, yo, do y'all have that new phone? Boom, here it is. I mean, how cool would that be? This is a phenomenal device, and it sucks. The only way to get it is ordering online. I don't know. And I don't know if that'll ever happen again, right? Or think of nothing. What if nothing wanted to get into the market? Because this is if you really, really want to move units, cell phones, you got to get into the U.S. carriers. I'm not talking about any other country. United States is very, very specific market when it comes to phone buying, because in other markets it's not like that, right? I mean, of course they have like O2 and carrier stores, but like 90-something% of Americans upgrade through their carriers, right? So it's a very, very touchy market. Let's see here. Yes, you like your streaming box? Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a video on this new one that I'm making. I think y'all are gonna like it. It's really, really cool. It's easy. Yeah, you can follow. It's easy to just install Android on it. Buy an SSD off Amazon. I'll make a video. I'm gonna buy one of those and do a video. T-Mobile usually has their Moto Razrs in stores. Yeah, Motorola has been in these carriers forever, right? I mean, even since the very beginning. So dating back to the Sprint store, the Sprint stores. I was just happy to see OnePlus make it, right? That was a huge deal. And unfortunately, I don't see them coming back. It sucks, but it sucks. Shield Pro is your go-to Android box. I've had one. I had one, and I don't remember what I did with it. Maybe I sold it, gave it away. I don't remember what I did with it. But that one's getting a little dated too, right? I mean, that's what, 5 years old, 6 years old. So it's a very good device. It's a very good device, very fast. I wish NVIDIA would make a new Shield, but I don't think it'll happen. I hope they do. NVIDIA makes a little SBC as well, single board computer. Same thing, you can buy it. It's called like the Roxta or RXDA, something like that. Now it's just a little single board computer, process memory, some peripherals. You got to add the storage and you got to add the operating system, but they make a very affordable one. I mean, I think they sell it for like $199, which is the price of the Shield, right? Brand new. You just have to go a little extra step installing Android, but it's really not that big of a deal. Let's do our last giveaway, and I'm gonna get out of here. They also give carriers employees a $50 bonus for each iPhone they sell. Samsung does the same. Wow. Yeah, that's why they're always recommending Samsung or iPhone, right? Now, do they do that for Pixel? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't like going in there too, because now look, I'm not boosting myself up or making it sound like I know it all, but I swear probably the last 5 or 6 times I went into a carrier store, I knew way more than the salesperson. It's like they don't even pass information on to these sales reps that are in there. And of course they don't know like what I know, right? So I understand that, and I'm not rude. I'm very nice and polite, but I'm thinking to myself as this guy's talking, I'm like, this dude has no idea what he's talking about. Like, do they even give them information on these phones? Like, yeah, and they try to sell you the iPhone, right? Or even the Samsung. I wasn't in there for that, but they sure were trying. It's one of those. I think I got. I don't know. I can't remember what, but yeah. Let me run this. Not for Pixel. See. That's why they never recommend it. Let's do this. You're late getting here? No problem. Showed up right on time because we're about to do our second drawing. So let's go ahead and run that right now. What time is it? My time, 5:21? Yeah. So as long as if there's anybody that joined but has not entered the chat, to win the drawing, just enter the chat, meaning say hi, good afternoon. You can just put a dot and enter, just a period, comma, exclamation point, whatever you want. Enter something, and that'll enter you in the drawing. I don't think they train on each other. They focus on training. Yeah, they just want the sale, right? And and I get it. It's all about money, right? It always is. But it's like they don't even know anything. Of course, they give them a little spec sheet. Oh, this one has the new processor. Oh, this one has a new camera system. And that's about it. All right. Like, it's kind of funny walking in there when I talk to them, and I'm not Mr. Know-it-all, right? If they tell me something, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't say, no, that's wrong. This one has a 50 megapixel, 1.8 aperture. I don't do any of that, right? I play dumb, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay, nice. That's it. But in my mind, I'm like, God, these people don't know anything about phones. But whatever. It's all about sales. iPhone isn't profit for Apple. It's all about selling services. Correct. Monthly services, monthly revenue. They need revenue they can count on every single month. That is right. It's about selling the phone that has the services on there, right? That's exactly what it is. Very smart comment. At least with T-Mobile, the flagship stores do get training on odd devices. Most, though, it's on employees to learn. Yeah, some don't care. Some just want to move units and cell phone. I get it, right? I totally get it. That's why I don't give them a hard time, or I don't say anything when I go in there. I just play dumb because I know the game. It's to move units. It's to get that bonus. It's to boost your sales, right? That's what it's all about. So. All right, let's do this. Y'all ready? Now, I unknowingly entered the chat earlier in the stream, so if I win, I'll just run it again because I'm not going to give myself rolling the dice. Y'all ready? And then I got to run. So let's get the winner and let's get out of here. All right, what do you know? Congratulations to you. Oh shit, I didn't even, my bad. I didn't even have the screen up. I swear to, I just ran it and they just won. That was my bad. I normally like to show everything I'm doing, but y'all saw the confetti. I ran it again and they won. So if you didn't win today, you have chances tomorrow, Wednesday. I think I'm going to go live Thursday for Christmas, if I can sneak away for 30 minutes, and then Friday all week. So if you didn't win today, join me tomorrow. I got you. But if you did win, email me, eSIMstudios at gmail.com. I'll send that right over to you within the hour. I got something to do right now, but I'll get it to you. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.